Nikki Eldred is a current USD student. She is passionate about animal rights and actively participates in various protests. The places she has protested are SeaWorld, Ringling Brothers Pro Circus, and food industries such as Whole Foods, Chipotle, and In-N-Out. Why the fast food locations?
For that, we're really bringing awareness to factory farming and the cruelty that the animals that are on the plates have gone through and the environmental issues that arise from this fast food and things like that. So that's really a food issue and animal cruelty issue.
At age 10, Nikki went vegetarian, and at 18, went completely vegan. What made you want to start being vegetarian when you were 13?
Honestly, I don't remember. It's kind of weird. I've been trying to figure it out for a while, but when I was 10, I just randomly decided that I didn't want to eat flesh anymore, and I just quit, and from there it's just kind of grown. I think I always knew that I wanted to be because it's so important to me now, but I really had no clue when I started. I just kind of went for it.
Her first protest was during her first year at college and took place in front of SeaWorld.
So ultimately, I think what we want to happen is for these animals that are there to, live out their lives or be relocated to a sanctuary, which is ultimately what would be the goal, is for all those animals to be relocated to a sanctuary. And we don't want SeaWorld to continue breeding.
Going to zoos and aquariums was neither educational or entertaining for Nikki because she knew animals didn't really act like that in the wild.
I do understand that people see it as a way to teach others about animals, to teach them how to love animals. The issue is that we're not teaching our children how animals really live and survive in nature. We're teaching them this, I don't know how to phrase it, but this like socialized version of animals, and that's what we've done to animals in all of the different animal industries. So, I think it's important that people learn about animals, but there are also other more natural ways that they can learn about them. There's whale watching. Even in San Diego, there's a beach where you can walk up and seals are just laying by themselves out on the beach.
Nikki believes it is our responsibility to care for animals and treat them as equal.
They need to be treated equally and fairly, but at the same time, we have more power than animals. So I believe it's our responsibility to treat them properly and kindly and not take advantage of them in these different aspects. So of course I do view them as equal, and that's why I'm an animal activist, and I believe that they deserve the same rights as we do. They deserve to be free, they deserve a livelihood, they deserve life. But ultimately we do have more power than them, and I think it's up to us to not abuse that power and to be peaceful with animals.
Nikki explains what she has learned from protesting.
I think a big thing is to continue to have faith in your beliefs, even when you don't necessarily feel like change is being made at the time, or even when you come across someone who clearly doesn't understand your beliefs and is really negative. But I've also learned that a sense of community for passions and for things that you care about is really, really important, and building that community of people who understand and also want to make change is really, really important.
There are some challenges that come with advocating for a cause. Nikki explains what some of these challenges are.
Really getting people to understand that we've been socially normalized to mistreat animals is a really big thing. The way that our society is structured and the way that things have evolved, it's just become a norm, and it's become an aspect of so many different aspects of our society that starting to unravel that for people is the biggest issue, because it's kind of like you have to start at one tiny step, and then you have to take baby steps to realize how much it actually is, and it takes a long time to understand that it affects almost every single aspect of life in the world. So just really teaching people to be open-minded, and just teaching them about it in general, and teaching people that animals aren't just for our use, and that we can love them and treat them equally and be just as happy, and actually that our world will be better, and that ultimately we'll be healthier in many ways, I think is really, really important, and probably a big challenge, but it's also the most rewarding, is when someone realizes how important this is and gets passionate about it themselves and wants to make those changes. And even if someone wants to make a baby change, even if they just stop going to SeaWorld, it's huge. And even if they don't stop going to SeaWorld but realize what these animals are living in is bathtubs, like this isn't normal, it's a big step.
Mm-hmm. Though Nikki is studying psychology and criminology, she says animal activism will always be her second job because that's what she's passionate about. She plans to protest until there is nothing more to protest.